Hey guys, Shepasaurus here with my first boss guide for the first Berserker, Khazan, using the Greatsword and the Deluxe Edition armor set. I may pause and rewind the fight here to talk about some strategy and certain skills. I'm going to commentate on some gameplay fighting, both the Phantom Blade boss you run into at the end of Chapter 2, as well as Keshta The Unyielding, who is essentially just an enhanced version of the Blade Phantom boss. He has all his moves available from the start of the battle. It's a bit tougher. But first, let's talk about a couple essential Greatsword abilities which you will need. Don't worry about how many points I have in. You will likely be a lower level and not have as many points at this point in the game. Going from left to right in the Greatsword skill tree is Savage Momentum at the top of the Swift Attack column. This allows you to charge your Swift attacks to unleash a shockwave along with the attack. This one is not essential. Skip it if you don't have the points, but I would put it at the top of the priority list because the extra range will help catch the boss as he backs away from you. Next up, we have Overwhelm. This will increase the charge speed and damage of attacks chained after the final attack of a swift attack or Savage Momentum. That last part is the key and the reason why Savage Momentum should be at the top of the list, because it enables you to quickly charge a potent attack or Phantom Night Veil right afterwards. You don't need to pick this up until after you have Savage Momentum though. Finally in this tree is our first essential skill to get in some extra damage on the bosses, and that is Mortal Blow. Swift Attack or Savage Momentum, if you picked it up, combined into Mortal Blow will be your best combo for the short openings on a boss. It does a decent amount of damage in a very short amount of time. Increasing this skill will decrease the stamina consumption. The next line in the Greatsword tree is Potent Blow. Not essential for this boss fight, but a useful skill to have in most cases. During the boss fight, you won't have many chances to charge a potent blow, so this is lower on the priority list, at least for this fight. Next up, another skill you won't need to use much since you aren't going to waste time charging the potent blow is Ghost Arm Block. I'll actually take a point out of here because I don't really use it that much. Instead, I only charge a potent blow if I know I'll take a couple of small hits, because there's another skill which will actually increase the damage of your blow based on how many hits you take. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. The next skill here is Phantom Night Veil. You may not have unlocked it yet for the Blade Phantom boss fight, but you should definitely have it for Keshta The Unyielding. This is a spirit attack that can be charged for more damage, but the best benefit is it adds damage pulses to your charged attacks, adding up to a massive damage while charging potent blows or Savage Momentum. Absolutely essential when you can pick it up. Heat of the Battle allows you to gain increased poise and reduces the damage you take while attacking. Great for charging abilities. I consider this essential while learning fights, as you are undoubtedly going to be smacked around while charging up a potent blow. This will allow you to take more damage before you're interrupted and reduce that damage altogether. It also goes together well with Indomitable in the same Greatsword column. Indomitable will increase your damage and allow you to gain spirit when you're being attacked, while attacking or charging an attack. I don't have to tell you how strong this combo is with Heat of Battle, but all in all, if you don't have the points, these two skills are not essential for the upcoming boss. Combat Cadence, it's a great for closing the gap early on and getting in an attack in. However, it's not an essential skill. Should be lowest on the priority list for this boss fight. Now what you've been waiting for, our bread and butter armor breaker. Pressing square or your swift attack button immediately after a normal guard or brink guard will swiftly deliver 2 slashes. As you see in the upcoming video, this is huge in dealing quick damage in between boss attacks and can even interrupt boss chain attacks. When you interrupt them with an armor breaker, you can go right into a Savage Momentum and Mortal Blow combo for additional damage. The last essential skill here is Avenger. You will be brink guarding as much as possible to wear down the boss's health. With that chip damage, it really adds up here. If you have some points left, I suggest putting them into the common skill tree, especially 2 skills, Counterattack Offense. The boss will do a burst attack at least once in the battle, and you will want to make sure you're taking advantage of the burst counter to do as much damage as possible here. As soon as you see some black and red symbols pop up on your screen, you'll want to hit this burst counter to counter it and do a bunch of damage and possibly stagger the boss. The other skill is Brutal Attack Reap. Each time you do a brutal attack from the front, you will recover health. This is huge, especially because you are limited in ways to heal this early in the game. We start off here in Storm Pass at the Tempest Cliff, and we're ready to fight the Chapter 2 boss, Blade Phantom. You're going to run forward and be transported to the boss arena, where Blade Phantom will open up on you almost immediately with an unarmed combo. Be ready to brink guard these. This unarmed combo can sometimes be chained together into a 4-hit combo, so don't get too comfortable. After his combo, go right into a swift attack or savage momentum if you have it unlocked, and use your essential skill Mortal Blow. This won't do as much damage as a charged potent blow, but it gets close and is way faster. He will back off many times throughout the fight in order to regain his stamina. Don't worry about it. If you chase into attack, you will just end up wasting your stamina and not be able to brink guard without getting tired out. In this first phase, he will also summon a spear to either throw or stab at you. Watch his body language and, importantly, the spear position. He will bring it back behind his body right before he is going to attack. It's better to block too early and be a normal block than to block too late and get smacked. He usually follows up a thrust with a second thrust, but if you do guard the first thrust, you can interrupt him with an armor breaker. Hit square as soon as you block, and you will hit him with an armor breaker, stunning him. This allows you to flow right into a savage momentum and a mortal blow for extra damage. He will also throw the spear, which is a bit harder to get a brink guard, so I suggest that just guarding this, since he usually gives you some time to regenerate stamina after that. His hammer attacks do massive damage, but are very telegraphed. This is another skill you can just block, as you will have a large opening afterwards to regen stamina. If you do manage to brink guard this, however, you will have a big opening for a savage momentum into mortal blow attack. Don't be too greedy. He will quickly either teleport away or move into another attack, so regenerate your stamina and be ready for another engagement. At one point in the fight, he may bring out some dual blades. These attack fast, but I found they're the easiest to brink guard as they come out at a consistent rate. So guard, 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 and you should break his stamina enough for a brutal attack. If you took the passive skill we talked about from the common skill tree, you will regain some health and give you a little bit more breathing room here. When you get the Blade Phantom to about half health, he will shift to his second phase, where he has access to more weapons with abilities. The first thing he will do is attack you with claws. The brink guard timing is not as straightforward as the dual blades attack. It is slightly slower, and the third attack in his combo is very slightly delayed. Afterwards, he will jump in the air and throw his spear down at you. Be sure to dodge that and move out of the very obvious AoE circle, as this will cause massive damage in a second. He's going to disappear into a smoke cloud and rush at you with another claw attack. If you aren't confident in brink guarding this, just hold L1 and make sure you get the guard in. He can either turn around and combo 3 more hits from the claw, or bring out his Greatsword, as you see in this video here, so be prepared to guard some more. The Greatsword attacks are greatly delayed as compared to the previous weapon he used against you, so if you end up trying to brink guard too early, just hold down the L1. If you try to lift off your finger and catch it with the second press, you may miss and take massive damage from the slower weapon. Finally, he may end the combo with a hammer smash. Just hold L1 to block this. I don't think it is worth risking brink guard, as you have plenty of time to recover stamina. At this point, you are just trying to take as little damage as possible. So now you've seen all the weapons he has to offer. He will get more aggressive the lower his health gets with jumping attacks to try and throw you off. Just brink guard and counterattack as best you can to chip his life away until he's beat. You can do this. Do know that Blade Phantom has another skill where he reaches back with his left fist. It glows, but usually hidden behind you or his cape. He will reach out and grab you. We will talk about that in a little bit as I let him grab me when fighting the next boss. So once you beat the Blade Phantom, some cutscenes will play and you'll be transported to the Crevice, which is this game's version of the hub. In the center is a portal which opens a map to all locations. If you want to farm the Blade Phantom's gear set, you can actually go down on Trials of the Frozen Mountain to the Tempest Cliff and fight him as many times as you want. But if you see at the top, you can actually switch over to the Storm Pass Phantom of Combat if you hit R1, an optional quest for another battle at Tempest Cliff. Here you will fight Keshta The Unyielding, who has a very similar moveset to Blade Phantom. He mixes up the attacks a bit more, has more life, and is more aggressive. Like Blade Phantom, Keshta will start out with an unarmed combo, which you can interrupt with a guard of first attack straight into an armor breaker to stagger him a bit. This leaves a decent opening to get in another attack or just regenerate your stamina if you miss the brink guard. From here, he can do any number of attacks as Keshta has full access to all the weapons we saw with the Blade Phantom from the beginning. Hopefully at this point, you have unlocked the skill Phantom Knight's Veil that we talked about in the beginning of this video, as it will add a lot of chip damage, which adds up during a charged attack. If you have 3 points into the skill, it lasts quite a long time as well, something like 40 seconds. You already learned all these attacks on the Phantom or the Blade Phantom boss. Just be warned, he can chain different weapons together and will attack much more. Slip in as many attacks as you can between brink guards and you will whittle his health down in no time. You can see each time you brink guard, you are actually doing a decent amount of damage over time if you took that skill. Keshta the Unyielding also has a grab attack, which you can see in the video can be really tough to notice. Don't let go of the controller or anything during the animation, as he will follow up very quickly with a smash attack to do additional damage. You should be able to dodge, block your way out of that. The rest of this fight is really just paying attention to what weapons he summons next and preparing for the timing attacks. His claw attacks are a little bit extended. He does a few extra, but you will catch on after a little practice and he will go down just like Blade Phantom. I hope this guide helped you out. Please help me out with a like or a comment on this video as it promotes me in the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to see more guides like this one, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video.